podemos hacerlo más exhaustivo, lo que tú veas. Pero bueno, básicamente lo que nos interesa es el tema de la comunicación. Por ejemplo, aquí es una empresa que trabaja mucho en América, mucha gente que trabaja en América. Entonces, claro, es ideal que sepan que existe este fenómeno, ¿no? Para crear. Si puedes, sí. Porque
no está muy preparado, pero bueno, para sí.
Bueno, improvisas un poco. Sí. Tenemos casi mucha gente en castellano.
Vale.
Okay. Cuando quieras.
¿Está bien para la cámara?
Sí, está bien.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Pablo Souza. I'm sorry, I apologize for the non-presence of Antonio Moreno, but some field work arrived yesterday, and we have to arrange the route to be here. And unfortunately, he's not here, as you can see. I'm Pablo. I'm a Ramon Cajal researcher. Recently gained the Ramon Cajal, so it was like mind-blowing for me. I was not expecting it. Now I have time and space to do some work. I'm just working generally with soils and agriculture, but also a part of forest and ecology, well, more or less. But today I'm here to talk to you about this international PhD program. It's called Agriculture and Environment for Development. And well, I really thank the organization for this opportunity because I'm really happy. We are really proud of this program. And well, today it's just half an hour, so it's like an introduction of this program. But anyway, you can contact me at the group if you want more information. Probably more about the limitations and the positive, but also the negative ways of this program. Well, what is DIAT? It's the acronym for this program. It's basically, sorry, I'm not familiar with this. It's an international doctoral program in agriculture and environment. This is a really large topic, and many other mini topics can be included in this. So I think that this is good for this project. And it's mainly focused on Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries, maybe America and some other African countries that are progressively entering the program. And it's obviously aligned with international academic standards. I don't know what happened. I was blocking the light. And we see this program as a global model for doctoral training with impact on sustainability and development. And moreover, we consider this program as a replicable framework for vulnerable regions and international cooperation. And this is important because the key words, the key information is here. It's a replicable framework. Okay, how we started? I was not involved at that time, but during this cooperation project in 2009, and then with this Erasmus Mundus project, and then with this regional cooperation, and we started a collaboration with Guatemaltecan University, and this started as a project, just a project to solve specific issues in that moment, but evolved because we detected that there was a specific project to train, I think that highly trained people, but without a PhD. So, well, this with different conversation and with time, this idea evolved to some kind of a structured doctoral program. I say some kind because at that time it was more like training and trial and positive and negative results But at that time, I think that the INO and other collaborators, they didn't expect that this finally, this program resulted in a consolidated researching network. It started, as I told you, with a PhD program between the University of San Carlos in Guatemala and the USC, also with the collaboration of the Colegio de Posgraduados in Mexico. So the original coordination was between these three entities. This is a brief, maybe we can share this presentation so you can then know the exact crucial steps. There were also mini steps within these main steps, but just to give you a general idea, this 4 or 5 years was, we were developing a process of analysis and design of the programs, and drawbacks and limitations, with this Erasmus INCIPIT and regional program. In 2013, this was firstly offered as an accredited program with the European Association for Quality Assurance in Higher Education, the INCIPIT. And well, at that time, during this 5, 6, 7 years, there were trial and error stage with different training mechanisms, with some options that were not adequate for different countries. And in fact, 6 years ago, we received the second accreditation, and some months ago, I think, we received the third accreditation. So this I think that this is a confirmation that the program is functional and is accurate. We changed a lot, though, in my opinion, because we started as a project, as a joint program with a single university and a research center. So something that can be considered as a conventional, more or less, PhD program. But today, I think that I'm not. It's not very risky to say that we have a scientific network, because then I will show you the partners and the numbers of theses and ongoing and defended, so you can then judge if this is an international network or not. It is evolving constantly based on agreements with different universities and institutions that confirm an actual network. The context and rationale, well, it's in the name of the program. It's mostly focused on food security and climate change as global challenges, and the need. I think that probably all of you in this room share the same vision, the need for applied doctoral training of this kind. In your case, to other international contexts, but in this case, in Iberoamerica. Because during this 4-year stage, we detected the lack of programs in Guatemala, but also in neighboring countries, the lack of programs that combine interdisciplinarity, territorial impact, genuine international cooperation, and some regions or universities even lack specific PhD programs. So it was something quite accurate at that time. There's something else here. Well, I will then go back to the territorial impact and the disparity. This slide was too difficult because there were many discussions about what will be the strategic priorities for this kind of PhD. But if we have to summarize in 2 main strategic priorities, we'll say contributing to development in the region, where the PhD is focused, focusing strategic lines of research and innovation, outlining national plans. This is important. It's aligned with the local necessities or national or regional necessities, and the projects are in all cases carried out within the country. There is no possibility of doing the PhD outside the country or without impact or without direct impact. And at the same time, The idea is strengthening research capacities and structures. We observe and we detect these limitations with different entities, institutions, universities. So the idea is to focus on temporary university faculties as priorities. There are some exceptions, obviously. We assume there should be a institutional commitment to doctoral students. It's not a PhD that decides by himself or herself doing this PhD, apply for this PhD. That there should be a link, an institutional link and commitment with this PhD student, and promoting the joint doctoral training. We'll come back to this later. This is a sentence that I like very much because this program, I think that is conceived as structural intervention, not just in the education, but also something that has a direct impact in the territory. So the idea is to provide direct knowledge transfer to vulnerable territories, capacity building at local level, promoting also international research networking. That is strongly orientated towards real-world problems. This is also a key issue of this, a key point of this PhD program. Very well connected, a very well connection between science and territory, and we are looking for the impact beyond the academic publication. That is sometimes is very in our mouths and okay, we have to publish this and that, but this PhD program try to find more than in the publication. And I will show you some examples that I was really close to that, so you can see if this impact transcend the publications. In terms of topics, that it's probably interesting to you, but I think that the structure of the program is more interesting than the topics themselves. But you can see that there is a wide range of topics included in this program, like soil conservation, soil care, water, ecosystem restoration, forest fires, environmental degradation. There are three main lines: sustainable management of natural resources, biodiversity and climate change, agricultural livestock and agri-food production with a focus on sustainability, and also more veterinary branch focused on medicine, animal husbandry, and also aquaculture for environment. And you can see there are many topics inside this big lines. Our focus is our tropical and subtropical agroforestry systems, some kind of ecological works that focus more on native forests, but there are wide variety of topics. I will share with you some of them in a few slides. But well, keep in mind that we focus tropical and subtropical ecosystems. And just to give you a glimpse of this international activity that we have been developing in the last years, these are some PhD defended in the last 2-3 years. And I just mark in green the countries. So you can see that this PhD were defended with PhD students from Ecuador, from Panama, from Guatemala. This is from Paraguay, also another one from Paraguay, Panama, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Mexico. And you can see the topics also: urban water management, 5 regions, environmental quality, sustainable production, and climate change mitigation in the management of degraded soils, organic nutrition to develop cocoa production. So the topics are really diverse in that sense. Probably very interesting about the numbers. Okay, in terms of architecture, I think that more or less, I don't have an exact number because many collaborations have also other branches, parallel branches that we are not really aware. And at some point, so more or less, I think that we have 25 collaborating institutions, more or less, 12 participating countries, but this is growing every day because today, not today, but last week, we received also information about coalition in Niger and African countries also. Colombia is going to enter in the program, probably Bolivia too. So we are including universities, research centers, and academic networks, not just universities, but also centers that have personnel with interest in working in this PhD. So I think that you can see more or less this program as an ecosystem rather than an isolated program. It's highly complex. And this is something that I can assure you. It's highly complex to manage and to solve everyday problems in some cases, in some institutions, but it really works. In the USC, we have people working in the PhD program, participating in the PhD program, from different departments. I think that this year we have also another one, but more or less you can see also the diversity in this partnership. And well, schools or faculties, this one, the reality is like. How we attract people, professors or researchers from the USA. I think that from the USC, I think that this program is really attractive for supervisors, really attractive. It's also because we are working with we have the possibility of working with people from different countries, from different parts of the world, with different limitations, with different problems. It's a scientific challenge, this is for sure, because at some point it's difficult to handle with some administrations, universities, even with some students. Sometimes it's difficult because there is a gap. I will talk about this later on. This serves also as a personal development, increasing research networks. I never visited Paraguay, I never visited Bolivia before joining the program, and right now it gave me the opportunity to visit these countries to increase my research networks. So I think that's quite really attractive for everyone that wants to be involved as a researcher from here, from the USC. And it's also interesting because we have the possibility of knowing in detail problems from other contexts. It's sometimes it forces us to think outside the box to solve problems and to help our students to solve these problems and to even to visit them to know this reality. Well, this is a map with the countries marked in red, brown, whatever, and we can see all the institutions that we have. The CSIC, the Universidad Católica de la Santísima Concepción, is our last added member from Chile, which marks Chile in the map. And we are also right now dealing with universities of Colombia, or Bolivia, even with some interest from Niger. It's difficult because, as I told you, this is a PhD program that is mainly ruled in Castellano, in Spanish. So, well, this is an interesting open gate. Some key aspects that I think that is important to join or replicate or to know the basics of the structure of the program. I think that these 4 elements are very important to know better how this PhD program actually works. We focus on this is a point that we focus very much, the candidate selection. I will tell you why. The candidate profile is usually is open, but we mainly focus on university lecturers, researchers, technical professionals. It's not a program that usually involves people that just defend master thesis. In many cases, I think that the main average of the people that enters the program, it's now probably between 30 and 40 years. It's not focused on very young people more mature, and with a trajectory. Usually, they are usually professionals in this sector, but they lack the structure to enter a PhD program in this university. So this is professionally who will be active in Ibero-America. It's a PhD that is compatible with professional activity. In many cases, there is an arrangement with this institution to reduce the work, the loading work of this candidate at least 50%. So they can put some effort in doing different activities related with this program. The price is also important to mention that with this program, students usually pay something like 200 or 300 euros per year, which is really affordable. And if we compare it with other PhD programs around the world. And well, these are four main points that we focus. Probably there are more, but we do a strict review of the application and the CV based on previous experience, publication, and the potential impact that this candidate could have in this community, region, or country after their PhD defense. Now we focus on the projection of this candidate in a specific area. We need a letter of support from a professional in the program confirming the viability of the thesis. It's not like, I'm interested in joining that program, so I will apply for myself. No, you need someone that is on your back, supporting you, so you can be oriented during the entire time of the program. We need, this is complicated, proof for sufficient funding. I mean, this is complicated because I have a recent case where the institution decided to cut the relationship with the candidate at the middle in that case of her PhD. Well, that case was a professional doing some extra work in the forestry sector, so she arranged to sustain herself economically until the end of the PhD program, but it could be problematic. Was not the case. We disconnect from the workplace. They have to provide additional support. They have to reduce the workload of this candidate because it's impossible to do this PhD. Every PhD is impossible with 100% activity. Well, I think that we provide, as the USC, some resources, as the National Doctoral School that offers cross-disciplinary training courses that will be in many cases online, bibliographic databases that they can be accessed in remote. We also have laboratories. We do, for example, in our case, that we work with soils. We have facilities that are very advanced and that provide very good support for doing some aspect related with the technical part of this PhD, and also software available. But in many cases, in other countries, it's very difficult to access this software, and we have it for free, price of the annual subscription. In all cases, the PhD students will have a national supervisor, international supervisor, that will be one or two, depends on the interest, and also an academic tutor that could be also supervisor. This is a possibility because international supervisor, there is no need for the international supervisor to be linked with the USC, but in all cases, you need an academic tutor linked with the USC to help solving problems like doing annual inscription, reports, and so many other aspects. Well, it's the role of the. In terms of structural composition, we have to approve a research plan this year, and this is mandatory. We need to, PhD students, they have to provide semestral reports. Each semester, there is a mandatory obligation to inform a partial report of the activities carried out through the course. After these two semesters, we need to receive an annual report and evaluation. This annual report should be evaluated also by the supervisors. And at least during the PhD, one online presentation in front of all PhD students. We have a very nice activity each 2 weeks. We have one update about the recent information, the advances of some students' PhD. And this is, well, each two weeks. I think that we have a very nice audience, like 60, 80 people in each session. And well, I think that this assures that the program provides continuous monitoring, not just focused on the final defense. In fact, we have an external evaluation when the PhD is it's completed about 70%, something like that, 70, 75%. There is a mandatory defense in which we can detect if this PhD usually happens in the third year, not in the last year. So we still have time. If there are major dropouts or problems with this PhD, we still have 1 year in front to solve this problem. Maximum time 3 years full time, 5 years part time. We also require some kind of PhD CV in which we have to include advice and training courses, cross-disciplinary training courses, some of them offered by the USC. There is a mandatory participation in seminars and workshops. This is not mandatory during research stage, but we encourage students to do it in case if it's possible, because it depends on funding, availability, life, family issues, whatever. I told you that these people between in the 30s and 40s, sometimes it's difficult to do this researching stage. We also encourage the participation in an organization of conference. I think that this PhD provides flexible and distributed learning. And well, depends on the profile of the candidates. We also encourage the publication of articles and captures to increase the visibility of this PhD. Well, it's a hybrid model, and well, obviously we encourage students to visit us because we provide this comfortable, if we can call it this comfortable environment to develop or even to contact with their tutors or supervisors to move forward in his or her work. Today, I think that we have more or less 25 defended PhD in 8 years, so I think that they're pretty good numbers. And more or less, because I don't have these numbers updated, 45 ongoing PhD theses, which is, in my opinion, which are a lot of PhD theses. But the working group in the USA, it's really active. Many topics, as I told you before: soil conservation, water management. This is the names of our webpage, and you can see the last 4 years, all the topics, and you can even access to them. You can, if you want to take a closer look at that. And as I told you, different countries and many different topics included. Two complementary aspects. Yes, I'm just finishing. I mentioned that we focus on the impact of these PhD students on their institution and their cities, regions, even countries. And I will share with you just two examples. Two students I supervised. One I collaborated, one supervised. This is Carlos Villalba. He defended his PhD 1 year ago, 2025. And his work was based on the assessment of soil quality in the Paraguayan Chaco. Well, the fact is that this PhD had enormous repercussion at national level because there is an intention of the Paraguayan forestry department to, I would say, offer its land for forest companies just above the Guardia Cliff. Okay, so in his work, Carlos provided evidence that these plantations produce a diminishment of fossil supplies, problems in alterations in the water regime, nutrients, and so on. So it was front page in different national newspapers. He received requirements for interviews. So this is what I mean when I say that this thesis usually have an enormous local impact. In that case, this is reports from the some communication of Cristina Vidal, another PhD, and she provided the first map of the 5 regions in the Paraguayan Chaco. This is very important because this information will serve to design different national projects where we have to focus depending on 5 regions to do maps or to risk maps. So it's actually very, very important. And this collaboration will not generally not finish with the defense, with the PhD defense. In the case of Carlos and Cristina, we are still working with them. And Carlos recently gained a national project in Paraguay. Cristina is also applying for a national project in Costa Rica. She's a Paraguayan, but she's had to be living in Costa Rica. And she's applying for a national project in Costa Rica, applying for national projects in Chile, even for the Marie Curie program. So this in many cases, in most cases, this collaboration maintains after these candidates finish his or her PhD. Well, some cases success factors. I think that we have a real international network with international co-supervision. I think that we have a flexible calendar and program. This hybrid training model, I think that demonstrated success this time, and applied research focus, which I mentioned in this presentation about the strong connection to real-world challenges. So how to replicate this model? It is important to create a strong institutional network. It is important to establish a clear governance structure. Flexibility is also important work to keep in mind. It's key to focus on territorial projects, not theoretical, and we have to pay strong attention to the candidate profile. Well, this is a model particularly replicable for developing regions, extension of international programs or projects, and preferably with territorially engaged universities. I think that more than a PhD program, this DIAM can represent a scientific cooperation infrastructure, which is something really nice. Someone told us this was some time ago, and we just wrote it because it was really flattering. But obviously there are some drawbacks and limitations, and there is an administrative complexity to imagine that we are dealing with many institutions and universities with their own rules, their own language, their own bureaucracy, time zones. It's quite complex to organize meetings. Assure the funding for PhD candidates on the entire PhD period is sometimes also challenging. This adequate selection of candidates is, I mentioned it many times, because there was a problem in some cases. The academic heterogeneity is linked with administrative complexity and the educational gap. In some cases, we deal with real professionals, people that are amazing doing his or her work, that never face a paper in English. So sometimes we have to deal with these limitations to move on with this PhD program. So keep in mind this situation. This is also a challenge for us as supervisors. And that's all. I think that more or less half an hour. So thanks for your attention. If you have any questions, we can solve it now or whatever you want. Okay.
So, any questions? I am very thankful, and this was very serendipitous because we didn't know this program, and then we found it, and Basil has registered with them, but then we discovered that this is, as you said, a cooperation infrastructure. So I think we have to make the most of it and yeah, try to, because for example, you know, in Cyclone there's no PhD program. And people wanting to have a PhD have to go to the US or wherever, but they don't have the funding. They are working there, but they don't have the funding to PhD. So this would be very adequate. So.
But are you afraid that actually the funding is what attracts people and then they don't finish their PhD? You mentioned, right, several cases in which the PhDs are not achieved, right?
But this was, I think that in some cases are exceptional, not the common rule. But it's complex because in many cases you have to deal with structures with institutions that has limited support in terms of project. But if, for example, the project and the PhD extends beyond the project, there is no possibility.
Of course.
Yeah.
Also in our institutions.
This is the reason. This is the reason I mentioned many times the necessity of an adequate candidate selection and the commitment, because we saw last year this problem I mentioned with Cristina, that the institution, not mention the institution, they cut the funds and they decided to fire Cristina. Well, she's a professional and she managed to solve their life issues during that time. She even visited us during that time, but this was because it was Cristina. But in many cases, it is impossible. Not many cases, but in some cases, it is impossible. This is the reason I mentioned, focus the candidate, focus, demand this commitment from the institution, and if not, this is something that is beyond our capabilities.
Just a comment, but do you think it could be extended to master's program as well?
To master program?
Yeah, because it's something I noticed during these last years that sometimes, like, I'm working right now on an African-based project, and the problem is also the access to masters and to even undergrad sometimes is complicated, especially if you target like lab professionals, which are already working and sometimes they are family, so they need to go step by step with.
Theoretically?
And it's like 2 years, so and you can drag after for PhD as well. I don't know if it's something you consider or.
No, we never consider because we need this. As I told you, there is an educational gap in education. So this educational gap, I think that can be more or less solved in 4 or 5 years. But in 1 or 2 years, in some cases, theoretically it could be studied. I don't know why not. But with this structure, it will be difficultly replicated in a master program. I don't know. It's something that we can explore in the future, because I think that it will serve. As you say, to mold the students. But at the same time, if you remember, I mentioned that we do not focus explicitly on students that came from master programs, because in general the profile is a more professional profile. So it is generally people that are engaged in a work during 5 to 10 years, so they are experts in this work, but they do not have the structure. So
that's my point actually, because in my case, people I'm talking with, and they are it's more archaeology, or paleontology, but they do have like a great experience in the field, but they do not have a degree. So the master is even sometimes a problem. So it's
a big step.
Yeah, it's a really big step in terms of degree, and it's a shorter program also. So sometimes it's, of course, it's not the same research question that you can drive in 2 years or in 3 or 4. It's different anyway. It's still a first step to advance things. But again, it's just like an idea.
That's something we can consider in the future. Maybe I joined the program in 2022. I don't know if this was a topic that was discussed before. I don't know, but in these 4 years, we're discussing about this topic, but maybe we can deal with that in the future.
Is there anything else? No? Well, thank you so much. Pablo has to go to Vigo now. Galicia. So thank you very much. Estaremos en
¿Estamos aquí?
Claro, yo no sé por qué estamos hablando tanto.
Pensé que estabas en el...
Es que no sé cómo hacerlo. 60.
Hay que tocar más sentada.
¿Alguien más la ha sentado?
Sí, yo creo que aparte habría un par de personas más. Jesús también había estado sentado.
Ah, sí, es verdad.
Espera, déjame ver un momento.
Sí.
Entonces hay que darle a compartir aquí.
Ya, pero no queda segundos. ¿Qué queda 10 segundos y no sé qué hacer?
Improvisa, a ver, tú improvisa, déjate llevar por lo que te salga. Espera un momento, voy a darle a la cámara.
Hi everyone, my name is Mercedes. I am the INCIPIT manager of security, and today we talk about health and safety and fieldwork about this project in Rota with Adriano. The main objective of this session is identify key risks in this fieldwork, understand how to work safely, and be prepared for situations in this environment. After analysis risk, for a little context, you will be in a remote area. Rota is an island with difficult access, so it's important to know that it's remote, with an environmental rain, with surface irregulars, and with so many physical work, like walking so many distance, carrying equipment and tools, and changing conditions like the water. To change conditions in this project is so important because the water we will take later is relevant. How do we assess this risk? Okay, we have several elements that we analyze. It's one, like the type of activity, the environment, the tools, and people. We analyze some of these factors for the safe fieldwork. Based on this analysis, we have different main risks. The principles are physical, environmental, manual, and management. Physical risk. as we said, the terrain in Rota is difficult, and we can have falls with the terrain, slopes, cuts and injuries caused by tools, and slips and trips. We have environmental risks. This is also important in Rota because, as you know, we have the Silaku typhoon, storm, heat, humidity, and insects like mosquitoes. Take care of mosquito bites, ants, and spiders. The weather is so changing, so we must take care. This is an example of mosquito bites. Thanks, Maria.
That's me.
This is Maria, the project. Yeah. And also we have manual handling risks. Due to lifting and carrying loads, so repetitive movements. In archaeology, we have so many long postures with upward because we are so near to the ground, and this produce conversation. The organization lists are the least, but not the least, because in this type of project, with an international context of so many people, are so important because they are not so visible, but are the most important. Like the fatigue, because there are so many manual work, the jet lag, the communication issues, with the local people or between us, and the cultural differences. The planification in fieldwork is so important, both before and during. It's so important also at individual level or at team level. For example, you have to know the equipment that you will carry on, the clothes, the first aid kit, and planification with your team, like the bricks, or as simple like interpretation. This is an example of one first aid kit. We have the basic items, scissors, pads, stripes, and the first aid kit. It has to be always available, know how to use, and essential. This field one.
May I add a suggestion? I think that there should be added here, or are those bags like for these salts in case you get diarrhea? Also anti-diarrhea.
Okay.
Things like that.
No.
And salts.
Yeah.
Salts. So.
This is a general photo, but in every fieldwork, depends on the situation, we put or kit things.
But are they going to get a list of things that they should bring?
For the area, pues no lo teníamos.
No, last year I used a lot of...
Sí, okay, yeah. I forgot to mention the sunscreen and repellent, they are so important. Okay, every fieldwork have to be have to have an emergency contingency plan. It's important to have the important numbers like the Rota Health Center. You have to know how to communicate the numbers of it. You have to have an evacuation plan and know what to do if in case of, for example, changing condition of water, like a typhoon. And social safety, I want to talk about it because safety is not only physical, there are another part of safety because you will work and live so much time together. So important that respect everything, every member of the locality also. No any type of harassment or discrimination are provided and report in a safe situation. In this fieldwork, it's important to have a good communication with the rest of your team or with your supervisor, and for let's support each other.
Yes, I continue.
Okay.
Well, for me this is the most important thing because we are going to be living together for a long time And I think it's best to organize ourselves around a schedule with clearly defined tasks and try to stick to it as much as possible. It might sound a bit over the top, but Rota is a very, very small island. It's a very small place. And it's hard to have any chance to switch off and maybe hard. So you really need to be considerate with the other person of the project, give them a space when things get a bit overwhelming, and above all, be able to communicate any issues or needs you have, and not let things pile up and make a big ball. So take in mind that in difficult situations, you will always have the support of someone who will be there for you in Rota, in this case me, but as well will be people working in various organisms outside the island. So if you feel it's necessary, reach out to them and try to be as honest as possible about what's happening to you or anything you notice that isn't working as you think as it should. And don't worry about saving this information for now, because I'm going to make a dossier for you to go to the field. And well, finally, for it, I can give you some tips for the field work, because we'll find Rota is not generally is a very safe place, but we must be careful. There are no dangerous animals. Only a potential. The only potential physical risk is when I will be working there. On the mental one, it's time for living there together, and for some people, if they feel trapped in the island, so keep calm. If you have any question of context between now and our departure for Rota, please feel free to ask me. I thought I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind, to send me your not confidential medical history and tell me on any allergies you have, both food and medicines, so I have this information in case of any medical emergency. So, well, that's all.
Okay. So I will. I will add something, which is that this year El Niño phenomenon is very bad, and so it's almost sure that there will be typhoons or these kind of events.
We were expecting.
It doesn't happen often or every year all the time, but this year is going to happen for sure. So it shouldn't be very problematic, but you have to keep in mind that while the typhoon is passing, people are just locked at home with all the windows also.
Boarded up.
Yeah, and because the electricity doesn't work, people are suffering from the heat for these 3 days. And this is the worst thing that they report about these events, being super hot, which is really hot because the houses are made in the American way, in which the roof is not properly isolated, and the walls, and so it's really hot inside. But this should be the worst part of the.
But I thought you said very early in the communication that you plan the field work outside the typhoon season.
Yes, but the problem is that the Singapore, for example, you just saw that. It's because of the Niño phenomenon. It shouldn't be happening.
Okay, so this is already outside of the typhoon.
It is. I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be so bad.
And when is originally the typhoon season?
The fall. The fall.
Okay, like September, October, November.
So, general question, how many more senior people who will join the expedition have followed a course on remote safety. I speak remote safety. Response during remote field work.
Of members of the SIC, everyone.
Everyone.
But only members of the SIC.
Okay, yeah. But these people will always be present, or at least one of them during the entire
Yeah, it's had to be.
position, right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen things like tourniquet or so, or it was also not shown, because if you cut yourself deeply, and it could be that you need to.
There is a very good medical center in Rotterdam.
Okay,
So I would advise to go directly to the.
okay.
But, ¿tú has hecho primeros auxilios?
Yo tengo el de recursos preventivos 60 horas.
Entra ahí. O sea, sí.
Yeah, Adrian has this education. How do you say that? First aid.
Sí, sí, sí.
First aid.
Sí, lo recuerdo.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So we have bought tickets from Rotterdam for Rotterdam, and you have to sort of sign up in this little thing. Hello. And they have to sign up in this little plane like 3 months in advance, and they shut people coming in. So what if an accident happens and somebody breaks his leg and needs to go to Guam? How do you get to Guam if that little plane has already been booked?
With a plane.
With a plane?
Yes.
And you just kick the other people out, or you
Yes.
order a new plane?
No. Get the people out and put in.
Okay, and the other people agree with that?
Yes.
It doesn't matter, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, okay, but if you break your leg, then I say, Adrian, bring me to the plane, take the other people out.
No, you go to the hospital, and the hospital do the thing and come the plane. Yes.
Or they hire a new plane.
That can
No.
also, there are charter flights.
Yes.
It's also possible, so they will arrange that from the medical center. Medical care.
3 years ago, we need a specific medication for one of it, and the plane come the same day with the medicine.
Where does the medicine come from Guam?
Yes.
And there is the big American hospital that does
Yes.
everything?
Yes. Well, keep in mind that Guam is a very big military base, so
Yeah, but I don't know if the hospitals also
Yes.
accessible to non-soldiers.
no. I tell you because the population of Guam is very high, so they need to have hospitals and
There is no payphone.
yes, yes.
Also, everyone makes sure that you have some kind of medical insurance that will cover, I mean, in Spain, we have that.
For us, it's mandatory and we
Yes.
already have it. We have already bought it for everyone. I guess you are also obliging naturalists and everyone to have this kind of insurance.
This is one of the things that we will talk about now with the proposal for sharing information, because I want to have your insurance
Yeah,
with me all the time.
Insurance number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gracias. Adrián, gracias.
Eso es muy gracioso.
Gracias.
It's crazy because all other countries engage with to really ask
Bueno, no sé si hay más preguntas o cosas.
Yeah.
If you have any question, please send me or ask me now when you want.
It's not expensive.
So any questions for Adrian? Otherwise, you can send me questions anytime before we leave. Okay.
Vale, the last one, very quick. I want to talk to you about the SACO. Well, I want to make you a proposal for sharing information. Like, if you remember, we talked about it in the kickoff meeting at the first of all the project. So, I think that SACO is the best to do it because also SACO can do a lot of things, but what we are looking to get up is the storage system and the file sharing capabilities. It's like a Google Drive, but for our institution. So, like we speak about at first, I think it's very important to use it for a lot of reasons. Especially for share the official documentation about the project, like templates to make the presentations, the notes, if you want to make a memory of some activity. To use it like repository and backups. I don't know if your institution have one, or maybe we can use it. Actually, we have 4 terabytes in the project SACO, so keep in mind. It's mandatory to use it. So we talk about of this in the kickoff meeting. I think it's not necessary to use it for all your data. Maybe your raw data is not necessary to put here. If you have a secure place to keep it. If you don't have it, please use this. And I think it's mandatory to use it for official documents, for the DN, like reports and all the things that we need to justify in the future. So it's important too, because that I say after now, I want to use it to put inside documents that we need when the other person is not present. So list of medical conditions, allergies, insurance policies, field work permits, that everyone can use it SACO to see these documents in any moment. So keep in mind with that, if you think about it or need something, have any idea how we can use it, please tell me, and I work with you to make a good system useful for all. So that's all.
So we are.
I just have a question that's semi-related to all the medical things we were talking about. Could we sort out who's permitted to drive? Because right now I know that I can drive, Mark could drive. I'm just thinking about like having someone who can drive.
Yes, I think it's I think for you it's very easy to take the car because you have an official driver license for the United States. So I speak with Angela and Marta about this because officially it's preferred only one person of each team could drive in Rota. But this you can take the decision without me. So in our team, I will drive. So what do you prefer? If you,
I'm more so thinking about like if we have like medical issues, if we have, you know what I mean, like making sure there's a driver.
Yeah, when you drive back.
No, yes, but yes. I'm not talking about have only one driver license,
No.
but only to
rent the
to
car.
rent a car. So
But then you mean that you will be the only designated driver? Or
usually,
you will
in
have
case
two
of
drivers
emergency,
per car?
yes,
We can have two.
yes, 2 days per car,
Yeah, we can.
but usually like the same person all the time. So I think it's better.
Sorry, once again?
Usually, I think it's better that the same person drive all the time.
Yeah, but I.
But you can have more license to with a problem.
In
Yes.
case of an emergency.
In case of an emergency, the other person can take the car and go to the hospital.
So what I mean is that it's good to have legally registered
Yes, 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 yes.
designated drivers.
Yes.
So that it doesn't matter then how you organize yourselves.
Yes.
So that when the car is rented, that both names.
Yes,
go
both
in the
names, yes.
contract, yeah.
But my way of think about it is, it's better only one person drive all days. You can have whatever you want, driver license, but always the same person be the responsible of the car.
But then that one person, if that's a PhD student, has to act like a chauffeur instead of doing his PhD research.
No, because you were moving to there.
No, because I go and interview someone, Francesco's going to come back samples.
Yes, but you were moving by teams.
Yeah, but he has to go do
Wait,
it.
think. When we do our archaeological survey,
Yeah.
one person of your team maybe do the botanical survey with us. So,
You want to live.
claro. O sea, no vais a ir separados por eso.
Lo que pasa es que Marcos también es así, Francisco se va.
Sí, pero nosotros vamos a seguir con la prospección. O sea,
But not everybody is going to
Y ahí
the
está la
same
tienda.
site.
¿Eh?
Not everybody is going every day to the same location. Some people go there and the other people go there. How does it work?
No, but it's impossible to have 5 cars. So we need to organize the routes and
But that's less efficient, no?
Yeah.
So that's less efficient, yeah.
yes.
But when we have 2 cars,
There are not that many cars on the
Yes.
red car, that's also true. So I think 2 cars could be fine. And also it's very expensive, because the prices have been on the rising slope. I don't know, do you think 2 cars is enough?
It depends how we organize the work.
Yeah, this is something we need.
How many people are going to be doing two work at the same time? That's the question, like, how many people are going to
It
be
depends on the
working at
month.
same time?
It depends.
Because, for example, Vasily is going to be working with Maglot, so with James.
James
Who else
Hart,
needs to work?
James always go with the car.
Okay,
So
so there you are. So if someone else needs to work that week with him, then you go together. So we're gonna have to coordinate and be less efficient, I guess. But be open to that, because I think that's why we're staying 5 months.
and we won't
So-
and we won't be the same number of person all the time in the island. So it's impossible to know now how many cars we. So, but I think if we coordinate the work better, it's not a problem, because the first year we was a lot of people doing different things in different parts of the island, and we do it perfectly with one car.
And there's no public transport or hitchhiking or whatever.
Hitchhiking, yeah.
Horses.
Are there
It's also very small island.
is it possible to go by this, but
I have seen people riding bicycles, but I don't know how they can install to the ice. Probably they want them only one to change the sheet. It's, you cannot rent a bicycle, per se. So maybe you find someone who rents you a bicycle. We can just be really like foresee.
Yeah, I just would like to remind you that at least for our institution, it's mandatory that fieldwork is done on a basis of at least 2 people at the same time. You can't go on field on your own. That's at least for the city, I don't know for others.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's also important to.
Yeah, never be allowed. No.
And then one other person, can it be like with James Manglona? Can James Manglona and Marco walk, the 2 of them in the forest?
Yes.
Yes, Magdalena is also an associate partner,
Yes.
so he's even a member of the project. But then we have this issue of the interns. You remember we decided in the previous meeting that we were going to hire or pay interns. Because Magdalena requested it and so, so they are going to be local. And they are also good resources to move around in the.
Also, if you are with one of those, you can walk. You don't have to have another CSIC with you.
I don't know, Merce is here or, Merce, this should be possible, right? That, imagine one Adrian and one intern.
Yeah.
That's possible. Not two people from the same.
No, but two people.
I agree with the safety issues, but as an admin botanist, you always walk with local people. So, and mostly along with one local person. And I have another question. Do you guys have heavy equipment that you ship to the islands, or you bring everything by plane?
By plane.
And we know sailors who goes from one
Yes.
to Rotterdam regularly.
See, local people who have boats.
Eh?
Local people who have boats.
Because we have a sort of heavy equipment, so we take it all in the plane.
I wouldn't send the equipment. Do you mean send the equipment in advance?
That's what I asked you.
What kind of
Just
equipment?
better walk with it. We have a plant presses with aluminium corrugates and
It's my thought. I don't. If you can go with this, if you can make it in Rota, I think it's better.
if I can make it in London.
Yes.
Like you
You have to bring in. It's like a.
We can buy material in the
Yes.
Yeah, but can you buy specific botanical aluminium
Right.
corrugates?
I mean,
that are in
A microscopic is impossible to buy, but if you can do a press here, it's easy. Then come with it from Belgium to Rotterdam.
What we did with the film equipment of our filmer when we went to Zuid-Patten or so, it was flown in as a special cargo, but in the plane,
Yeah, that will.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, because also it didn't fit into their normal luggage or so, it was a special.
Ours will have an extra suitcase, but
Yeah.
we have the animal to pay for.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it. It's not very expensive, but we have very little kilos in the little plane going in the Piper, which flies from one to Rotterdam. Very few kilos that you can carry with you, that you have to pay. And normally, we will say that in advance, by the way, we will send them an email saying, we have this many cargo. Bueno, there is also cargo, that's true. So there is another service that one.
There is cargo between islands, and you send equipment and then you get after.
Okay, but do you know?
Once you arrive in one, we go to the cargo, you will be alone.
Well, I'm carrying it, so it doesn't, I'll be with them.
But you will be with us in Rotterdam.
Yeah, no, when I get to Guam, I'll do whatever you're talking about right now when we get to Guam.
Okay.
And that isn't coming with the equipment.
Okay, then that's right. And so we will go to the cargo, and normally they send it, then the following day.
Okay, so their cargo planes go
This is almost like traveling with it yourself.
Yeah, no,
Because you
that's
have to arrange for this once you are in Rome. I will in one. I wouldn't send it in advance, ship it, no, because we have lost boxes of things.
Yeah, that was one question.
And cargo is subjected to customs between Guam and Rotterdam.
Yes.
Yeah, but
It could be.
You
It's-
25 times,
Yeah,
because it's not very quick.
Exactly.
and you have to have with you a documentation of your equipment to go through customs.
And what kind of documentation?
For example, last year we brought the total station, and we have the total station is the device to take measurements. Coordinates. This is very expensive equipment, very heavy, and very messy. So, but we have the document, the official document that we are bringing this with us, and we are going to bring this with us when we go out.
Okay, okay, and it can be a naturalis letter stating what is in
I
it.
guess so. I guess so. And
Only one thing about prospection and gathering samples and all the land in Rota has owners.
It's
So
private.
it's very important to identify the owner and request permission to enter. Because maybe you are working and you think that you can enter, and no, you have to ask before who is the owner of the land, and then.
for that, it's very practical to work with Manglona or with an intern, someone who are paying to work with you, so that everybody is going to know who is
A
the
local
owner.
knows who owns the land and request permission.
So medicines and food allergies, everything we should bring with us?
Yes.
Okay. But there are pharmacies for basic stuff there, I guess.
The supermarket.
So
So,
count on it, so take for the time that you are gonna be there.
yes,
Okay.
Otherwise,
it's one of the things that will be in the dossier that I will send you.
You can also buy at the hospital, you can buy the medicines there.
But
If you go to a doctor and he makes a prescription, then we will give them at the hospital and, yeah, okay, they have to give you
and they have everything.
If they don't, then they fly in, when you have a passport.
Yeah.
Okay.
finish.
Yeah, no, thank you. Then,
So I have a general question. So to have the logging data for the SACO system, and once received for the the references, but that's not the entire SACO system, right? There are also many other folders, right? You just, is there like a general
No se contrata.
for everyone or for like?
Wait a minute.
Access the entire.
¿Lo puedo hacer entrar yo o entra?
Entro conmigo.
Vale. Yes, so the shared references is one folder, and we have so many folders right now.
Sure.
But this is under my name, so my account here at the CSIC, and you can go in, but you cannot enter easily. For me, it's very difficult to give you access. This is why some of you can have access, other people don't. So this is why we are going to move the whole system of folders to Pacific People Forest, to this other account in which you don't need my credentials to go in.
So that other account has not been activated, basically.
This Pacific People Forest is already, because this is the email that we are using in the web, so it is activated, but you don't have access to it.
Okay.
So we have to first, I don't know how to do this, so we have to first move these folders to this other place, and but we will do it very soon. Alian can take care of these things.
No, this is all the folders of the project.
So in principle, you can have access to all of these.
And the PowerPoints are also.
I just put my PowerPoint in one of the folders. And we can put the other PowerPoints, I think, here. And so you will have access to everything because this is not confidential. The confidential information, which is, for example, the recruitment process of all of you, is not going to be here.
Yes, imagine we have a folder with all the logos of the project, with the
When you graduate, you
¿Puedes poner algo así?
¿Listo?
No, this is how it looks now, but maybe we will try to go across your
I have no.
No, basic references. This is when you have access to references, no? Share data.
Are we gonna have the information system in Sacco for everyone? To put everything there, is that linked in a way or is a different thing? I'm just wondering.
No.
No?
So we have it in the Pacific People for Sacco. So we can put inside what you want. If you want to share your bibliography with Marco, you tell me, make me a new folder to share my things with someone.
Okay, and
So-
I upload that there and send the invitation?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the bibliography, which is, it's only a few references because I didn't want to overwhelm you with many things, but if you find something which is not here, maybe you can also upload it. So if we can have in the end, by the way, Dewey is working in a Sotero file to organize all of the references, so that might be useful also for all of us. I don't know how to use Sotero, but I guess we can learn.
We should have like a Sotero bibliography thing.
In that regard, so we had one from the first campaign that I updated with the official reports on the HPO that we were using on the first campaign. And I also added my references, so it's like an online bibliographic database, so that we can add people to that one and you can check what is already in there.
Those are only the references, no the actual file.
No, exactly. So, I mean, I have the PDFs locally stored in my computer. So the references are sometimes good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the PDF and you to cite directly to a Word document or whatever, or share with anyone. So you can synchronize it with your computer and always have the updated bibliography.
Yeah.
Finish.
Thank you so much. Do you know if we have to meet at 9 or a dinner? It's a bit late for you.
Where is Mr. Dinner?
I don't know, it's in downtown, but we can arrange.
I'm going to send a link for email. And we'll be driving there, so if everyone wants to go.
So,